Hello everyone, I'm Jacob Kaufman.
I'm Adam Hurrow.
And this is your Nerd on the Street podcast that we are recording during the middle of our Extra Life 2016 live stream. How you doing, Adam?
I'm doing really good.
This is
Don't you feel great up here?
I do. This
Absolutely.
is awesome. So we actually are on a stage tonight for our podcast. And we have seats for other people to join us, but
they might.
I don't know what they're doing. They might come later because we're talking for a
here.
while. So we're in the middle of our Extra Life 2016 25-hour live stream. So for our iTunes listeners, like last year's 2015 live stream, we did an hour of this podcast and we published that to iTunes. So this is going to be on iTunes as well. And I know it sounds like they're really loud to us, but we got this awesome microphone setup. This is really cool. This is the highest quality audio setup that we've ever had.
That we ever had. Okay.
Well,
I thought you were gonna just say ever.
Well, no, this is the highest quality setup that we've ever had.
That's true.
This is what we used to do to record the interview. I think with the. Is this the mic we used for the interview, Michael?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna join you guys.
Okay. Did you make sure that the audio was working?
Yeah, I just checked it.
Cool.
We got a third.
Yeah. I've been wanting to record a podcast with Michael for a while because since college started, I've been hanging out with him more actually. Because since I don't see him during school, I have more of a reason to see him not during school. Oh, so you're gonna monitor during, huh? That's cool. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
You guys?
Really good. Yeah. So yeah, this is the first time we've done a podcast on a stage. It's pretty bright, but
It's really.
I was the one who
bright.
insisted. Michael had the lights lower, and I told him, bring those lights up.
We
want
like it. It just makes me feel better.
It does,
Just the
yeah.
lights shining
And
on us right
it
now.
keeps us awake.
I really need that right now.
We've got a laptop in front of us. We're looking at the chat on live.nots.co. We've also got the widget that refreshes every 30 seconds, so we'll see if we get a donation. So yeah, we are up. So our goal this year for Extra Life 2016 was the amount of money we raised for 2015. 2015 we raised $230, and so far in 2016. Now keep in mind we've been streaming for 12 hours and 2 minutes.
Right.
So we are we would be halfway. We'll be halfway through in about 28 minutes because we're doing 25 hours. If this was a 24-hour stream, we'd be halfway through right now. But yeah, we are less than halfway through, and we're already to $400.
And then last year it was probably the second half that we.
Yeah, last
got
year the
donations.
second half was
So
when we got the
big,
bigger donation. Yeah. Yeah, and Stephanie was saying she wanted to reach 500. I'm happy with 400, but if more is better, you know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
You're good.
So yeah, the Nerd on the Street podcast is just us talking about whatever. It's pretty laid back. So the past month and a half, 2 months for me has been planning this stream, which I know both of you have done some things in preparation for the stream with me.
Just a few.
Yes.
Just a few, yeah. And so what have you guys been up to?
School.
School, yeah.
Yeah, it's just all homework at this point.
How much homework? I don't get much homework.
Okay, I usually don't.
So
but
me and I'm at college this year, and Michael is at college, and Adam is at an actual college this year.
I'm in an actual college.
Yeah.
Feels
So it's
nice,
more homework
going
than
from
Merrimack?
Oh yeah, sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I guess they put like a lot more work on you to even study. So I kind of count studying too as homework. Because we have class teachers with we have a test in like a few weeks that's over like 8 chapters or 10 chapters, and we don't go over anything in class pretty much. Just straight studying.
What are you
Yeah.
studying?
Well, I'm majoring in accounting, but this is in like just normal business or whatever.
Okay.
So it's quite different, like local business. That's a fun class, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't had to do much studying for S&T, and all my grades are fine. I've been relatively unimpressed based on what I've been hearing from.
You're still you're still a freshman.
Yeah, I know.
So just you wait.
Yeah.
Mine was only crazy because of the certification test I had to take. It's
Yeah.
slowed down now, but there was like 3 weeks there when I was studying for that Windows 7 cert that was just like 3 weeks.
What do
of
you
just
even do with a Windows 7 cert? I was talking about this because every IT guy needs Linux certifications to get a job.
Really?
Well,
Why do you need Linux?
they help you because even though I know you hate Linux, you're using it on some of your computers, but
Yeah, it's not
most
too
of the people here, except for me, hate Linux
Okay.
at the core. No, you hate Linux. You don't use it
The only reason
Um,
I don't like
there's
Linux
reasons
is
I don't
because of
use it.
gaming.
because you hate it.
I don't hate it. I don't
If
hate
you
it.
didn't hate it, you'd use it. But servers actually run Linux. So, like, Beam servers run Linux. Twitch's servers run Linux. So like if you're gonna be like an admin, like a system administrator, then you need to have Linux certifications. So, and Windows 7's like from 2010, isn't it? It's like a 6-year-old cert.
I think 2009. I'd have to go look it up to be sure, but they're saying they're going to do it for another 4 years.
I remember when Windows 10 came out, and I got it for Christmas as an upgrade to
7
my
or 10?
laptop. 7.
Okay, 7. Yeah.
Oh no, that's what you said.
I
You said
remember
7.
I remember that.
Yeah.
10's the certification for 10's still in beta, so it's.
How long's 10 been out? It's been out for over a year.
It's still in beta for whatever reason.
That's ridiculous.
You are right that a lot of servers they do run Linux. That is true, but a lot of servers also run Windows Server for like Windows Domain, and that's used in a lot of business, which is what they primarily teach. But I'm probably going to go the Cisco route anyway, so that's.
Yeah.
I haven't decided yet though, so.
Well, yeah, I have not gotten any certifications through S&T yet.
They're not very much fun.
Yeah. What else have we been up to? Like I said, most of my time has been going into, like, last year we did some planning for this live stream, the extra live stream last year. I have my notebook, and it might even be in that notebook. I'm gonna check real quick.
All right. See what's in there. Just like.
Is this the super secret notebook?
Don't
Well,
reveal
the
anything.
first page. So, like, last year I had a page or two in the notebook where I wrote down, like, how all the computers were going to connect to each other. But then, like, everything was in my basement already, and everything was within 15 or 20 feet of each other. And then here, we're at Faith Lutheran Church has been kind enough to let us use one of their facilities for this stream this year. So we've got this big space with everything spread out, which is awesome. But yeah, we had to do a lot of planning about how we were going to get all of the computers connected together and how we were going to get all the microphones connected together. Yeah, see, I've got, all right, so here's the extent of the planning, the written planning from last year. There was some stuff on the computer, but this is a notebook page here, and you guys can see what exactly I planned out. So Jacob's screen, Adam's screen into HDMI switch. Yeah, this was a preliminary one. So we had the HDMI switches in there, which I ended up realizing that those were too expensive. And then we were also gonna, last year at first we were gonna have Brett and Drake stream from Brett's house. And then they were going to stream to us, and then we were going to screen capture their stream and then include it into our stream.
I didn't remember that part of it.
And then when it's because I figured out that wouldn't be a good idea pretty quickly. But what was gonna happen was, like, there are times, like right now we're on screen, a bunch of people over there are gaming. So the idea was if they're at their house, they can still be streaming to their own channel. And if people don't want to watch us sit here and talk, then they could go and watch the channel. Now we've just kind of given up and said, watch us, or this is what we're doing for our stream for the next hour, or however long. We need to check the schedule actually to see how long it's supposed to be.
This is an hour and a half.
This is an hour and a half.
Yeah.
All right, we better.
Or maybe 15 minutes.
I feel like I wouldn't have put an hour and a half.
Yeah,
I think an hour and 15 minutes. Anyway, so that's what was there. And then, but I ended up, so this was the next one. Yeah, so all-in-one studio. And so this was when we figured out everyone was going to be at the same place. So, yeah, this is just another simple flowchart where it's like Jacob's computer, Michael's desktop, VGA, Jacob's screen, HDMI to capture card, and then broadcast computer. And then we only had 2 capture cards here because this was before I bought the 3rd capture card when I made this chart. So that was the extent of the planning. Yeah, that's all the planning for last year. So this year, me and Michael came here and we recorded like a 25-minute video about what we were gonna do because, like, it's a lot of planning. Like,
yeah, and we had a lot of new gear too that we didn't have last year.
So this morning we actually ended up streaming just like last year. We ended up clicking the start stream button like 2 minutes after 7:30 when we were scheduled to start.
Yeah, a little bit.
Which kind of sucks, but I was actually impressed. Like, once we got in and people were bringing their stuff in, then it's like you don't even think about how much work it takes just to get people's freaking HDMI outputs to all be the same resolution. Like, that's a lot of work.
Or to get a capture card driver to work.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
Well, all right, so we've got 2 broadcast computers this year, the setup that we're using. I was proud of thinking of this. So,
and it works really well, actually.
Yeah, normally what you would do is you plug all your webcams and all your capture cards into one computer, but what we're doing is we've got one computer for all the microphones and all the webcams to plug into, and we've got a second computer just for the capture cards. So all of the gaming, like all the game stuff is plugging into, and the reason we did that, one of the reasons we did that is because both of the capture cards we have this year, we have 3 capture cards. One of them is compatible with Linux. and that's the one we're using to connect the second broadcast computer to the first broadcast computer. But then 2 of the capture cards we have are Windows only, and I wanted the stream to mainly be run under Linux. Another thing is that we ran out of USB ports. Like we wouldn't have had, like there's only one open USB port on the normal broadcast computer, and there's 2 capture cards plugged into the second broadcast computer. So like we wouldn't have had enough USB ports. And then another good thing about having a separate computer for capture cards is that you can switch the games of you can switch who's on screen game-wise separately from switching who's on the camera. Because normally you would have to have twice as many OBS scenes, right? Like you'd have to have Jacob camera, Jacob screen, Jacob camera, Adam screen, Jacob camera, Brett screen, Brett camera, Jacob screen, Brett camera, Brett screen, right? You'd have to have all that, but instead we just have all the screens on one computer, all the cameras on another computer, so it really simplifies it.
And it spreads the load between 2 people.
Yeah, it does. Which works really well when we have enough people to fill both of the spots. What you doing? Oh, crooked?
It's bumping the stand.
Oh. All right.
That's why I'm wearing headphones.
Yeah. Right. What was I?
You're talking about the separate computers with 2 people. It was easier.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we were originally supposed to have 3. So I forgot to mention at the I was gonna make a big deal out of it in the beginning of the stream, and then after worrying for an hour and a half about whether the stream would start, I was just kind of not thinking about it anymore. But we had several people drop out like within the last couple weeks and say I can't come to the stream anymore, right? And that's like super annoying. It's like we've been planning on you being here and all your equipment being here, and you yourself being here, because we had the partners set up for some of the activities that we're doing later. Like Brett and Drake are like a pair, and it seems like Brett's getting along with Leo okay, so that's fine.
It's going.
But yeah, I ended up just having to go around and Raleigh, and like I hardly talk to anybody down there. But like the few people that I do talk to, I was like, hey, I know we've only known each other for a couple months, but you want to do a 25-hour gaming stream with me? It's for charity. And it actually, several people said no before I got the people who said yes, which didn't, that's not how it's worked in the past. Normally I know people longer before I ask them, right?
Right.
So.
Well, you got 2 people here, so.
Yeah, I got 2 people here, so
It's
it ended up working out all right.
to, for someone to come and do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. And so yeah, I'm feeling good. And this is awesome. Once again, yeah, Faith Lutheran Church is letting us use their it's called the Hangar, is the building we're in. We got this cool lighting setup behind us and this cool audio setup. So yeah, that was really cool. And but yeah, it took a lot of planning and it took a lot of finagling with them to get them to agree to let us in here and to give us an actual date. Like 3 weeks ago, we didn't know what weekend our stream was going to be because they wouldn't give us the date that we were going to stream, but they did eventually, so everything's fine.
It all worked out.
Yeah, but I've been losing so much sleep. Like this past couple weeks, I've been sleeping between 4 and 6 hours a night, which is less than normally. I go for 8 hours a night. I don't know. Maybe I've heard that's abnormal for a college student to sleep 8 hours a night. That's too much apparently. But
I maybe get 5 hours a night.
I've been getting 4 to 6 hours a night for the past 2 or 3 weeks, and it's really I've been more tired than usual because But there's so much I've had to do for some of the activities you'll see later. Michael knows one of the things, the karaoke that we're doing.
Yes,
we had to type out lyrics for them. And so that takes a long time.
Type them out, drag them into the editor. It was a lot. 4-minute song
we figured
took
out
a couple hours, didn't it?
Well, yeah, it did. So that's been something. Just the schedule. So last year we had an Excel schedule where it said what we were going to do and what times, right? And it was a loose schedule. This year I was worried because our schedule was a little tighter this year. We had a lot more things. Even though we only had an extra hour, we had 5 or 10 more things in this year's schedule than last year's schedule, just because some of the stuff was 45-minute things, but we just cut out one game earlier. We cut out Ruby Grim Eclipse because we were just okay, we don't really have this set up anyway, and we're running late, so instead of running late, let's just say we're running early and not do this. But I think that was an okay trade-off. And
what did we play? Yeah, we played some other game just
we
longer.
Just kept playing. We played G-Brainy a little bit longer, and then we started.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Race the Sun.
Then we were gonna start Race the Sun. We actually ended up starting Race the Sun the time we were supposed to, so it's a good thing we tried to start earlier.
Yeah, because.
But yeah, we're basically
HDMI
right on
man.
schedule right now. Yeah, well, it shouldn't be that. If we had all Magewell capture cards, then it would all work because Magewell capture cards do automatic scaling. You don't have to worry about the resolution being wrong. You don't have to worry about drivers. Yeah. But no, we want to save, $150, so we get one of the cheapo ones that only works with Windows, But I didn't have the money to buy a $300 capture card this year because I already have one, and it's not a smart money-making decision if I only do a stream once a year to spend $300 on the second one.
You need 2 more, really, if you were going to.
Well, we need a lot more.
Yeah.
Is what we need. But yeah, once again, like this is our biggest streaming event of the year, Yeah, later we're doing the Displaced. I've been working quite a bit on Displaced season 3 stuff, and I don't have as much to show for that later as I wanted to originally, but I have been putting a lot of work into that. And so Displaced season 3 is going to be, well, we're going to talk about this a bit later, but it's going to be animated in Blender.
Yeah.
Adam's attempting to learn Blender. How's that going?
It's a difficult thing, and you know me with my slow learning curve.
Yeah, it takes him a while.
I'm trying, but.
If you could I was hoping something would happen like I put Linux on your computer, right?
Yeah.
And then Adam doesn't know how to use Linux. I haven't trained him as much as I've trained you, but he can get stuff done on Linux. If I tell him you need to install this program, it doesn't matter if it's in the repo or not. He'll find a way to install this program. And if I tell him you need to get an HDMI out doing this and an audio out going to this, and then an audio input doing this, and then your Yeti doing this, then he'll figure out all the pulse audio sound settings. I don't know how it happens though, because when you had Windows on your computer, you couldn't figure stuff out. But then with Linux, you just screw with it, and then you keep screwing with it, and eventually it just works.
There's just Windows is a lot simpler for me to just get what I need. So with Linux, I kind of have to screw around with it if I want. I've been impressed how much you've got he's got a custom window switcher. He's not using a taskbar. He got rid of the taskbar on Ubuntu Mate, and then he added a custom window switcher because it takes up less space, right? Yeah.
And
if I have
I wouldn't. That's not even something I would I could figure out how to do it, but that's not something I know how to do off the top of my head. But Adam figured out how to do that. So I was hoping that would happen with Blender, because it's let's see if Adam can just magically know how to do everything in Blender, he magically knows how to do everything in Linux. But that's not the case.
It's funny because I feel like some of the stuff you're you somehow figured out how to do this. It's actually some really simple thing. Get that window switcher, I just had to right click and hit add window switcher.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that was there though. That's a cool window switcher. I didn't know that window switcher was even an option.
I think it's because sometimes that has my internet's been cutting out and stuff a lot.
At your house?
So the DNS stuff is just going out.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think it's because of my laptop. I think it's because of the the power line thing.
Oh.
I think that's messing up.
You mean your laptop? You mean
your
desktop?
No, through the power line, the outlet.
Yeah, but you said I don't think it's because of my laptop. I think it's
desktop. I don't think it's because of my desktop.
Because the problem does not happen on your laptop.
Well,
that's why you would think that.
Yeah, that doesn't happen on my laptop. But so it usually has a thing that says how much is being uploaded and how much is being downloaded.
Yeah.
And one day that just disappeared. I'm how do I get that back? So I was scrolling through that list, and that's how I ended up finding that. Sometimes it's just scrolling up the other things and finding stuff.
Yeah.
Plus Windows breaks if you try to do anything they don't want you to.
Pretty much.
So our Windows computer blue screened, I'd like to point out. Windows computer blue screen today in the middle of the stream, and the main computer was on Linux. Main computer was fine. But yeah, you're trying to we've got, how many 1, 2, 3, 4 webcams and 3 microphones plus an audio interface going into the Linux broadcast computer. Solid, not a single drop frame. Try and plug 2 HDMI cards into the Windows computer, drop frames. I mean, not drop frames, blue screen.
Yeah, that was weird.
We don't have any drop frames because we're not actually rendering it, it's a preview.
Yeah, that was weird.
But yeah, that's...
And that's a computer that has server parts in it.
Yeah, that's got ECC RAM.
It's got ECC RAM, a Xeon.
Yeah. So I don't know how you get a blue screen on
I've
that.
never had that computer blue screen before.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess...
It's this cheapo capture card.
Yeah, I think because we were having problems with the capture card not working, so once it booted back up, I uninstalled and reinstalled the driver. It might have been just a bad driver.
Brett's capture card, his Elgato capture card from last year, it was the most touchy last year, and it was the most laggy last year.
Yeah.
And in our chat, Drew was asking what capture card I recommended. I told him about the Magewell, and then he was like, what about this $150 one? And it was the one that Brett has.
Yeah.
And I was like, that one's super buggy, super laggy. And he was like, I'm going to get it because it's cheaper. I'm like, okay, I tried.
I didn't. The blue screen was because of a driver. It said it was because it's it was that
so
capture card
you can't
driver.
have a driver cause a blue screen if you don't have a driver. and mine doesn't have a driver. So
Well,
even on Windows, mine works better.
it's like when we did back to the because I did just do a Windows 7 cert test. There was a whole chapter on drivers, and drivers suck. Like working with drivers, it sucks. It's not fun.
Oh yeah, you don't have to tell me. Like I've like installing LightScribe drivers and like really old drivers on Linux, like new drivers on Linux that are up to date is actually super easy. But like when you get into older drivers and like loading things in the kernel yourself and like compiling things and DKMS modules and whatever, like.
Well, too, it's like let's say you have like a $400 audio interface or something. If the driver's crap, then your hardware, there's no point.
Yeah.
So.
Now this is just a 3.5 mil.
Yeah, in this case,
computer.
actually it's going through an interface, but it's not actually plugged in USB because there's no Linux drivers for that one, unfortunately.
But we can still use the interface because it has a 3.5 millimeter out, right?
Well, actually, so these microphones are going in. I'm running them through the interface because the board I bought uses some sort of funky phantom power. So I'm running it through that to get the correct voltage to power these.
Okay.
And that's just analog out into the mixer, and then 3/4 inch to 3.5 into your computer. Yes.
All right. Yeah.
So.
I don't know what to talk about other than preparing for the stream. I'll tell you one thing. I wasn't sure. We've got a timer at the bottom of the screen, right? This was something I improvised today. Well, I didn't improvise. I knew it would be there because it's part of the layout. But you see the timer. We've been streaming for 12 hours, 23 minutes, and 12 seconds. So I planned originally. I was trying to find a timer that we could use for that. And the problem actually is that this year, since we're doing the 25-hour, and by the way, we're doing the 25-hour live stream because the official Extra Life weekend a couple weeks ago was when daylight saving time ended. So 8 to 8 was 25 hours. But I was looking for a timer that would work for 25 hours. Right. And the problem, like if my watch, I actually used my watch to test the accuracy of one of them. And my watch, it gets to 24 hours and then it loops back to 1. My watch does that. The Linux terminal, I found a script online that you can use, and it is a stopwatch in the Linux terminal. And it's like, it uses Linux's built-in clock. But it went for 24 hours and then it looped back to 1. So like if we were doing a 24-hour live stream, it'd be great, right? But we wanted 25 hours. So I was going to use an online stopwatch. I tested that. I just clicked it and left it open for a day, and then the next day it was 25 hours. So I was like, great, we'll use onlinestopwatch.com. But then I actually forgot to start it, like when we started the stream. So now it's like, okay, how do I start a stopwatch that already has like a specified amount of time on it? So I was searching the web for that. What I ended up doing was Open Broadcaster software, the streaming thing that we're using, actually has a timer that says how long you've been streaming. So we actually this is a screen capture of OBS's built-in timer and then enlarged to fill the space. Yeah, it works.
And nobody would have called that if you said that. Like, you can't tell.
Yeah, well, originally you guys saw the preview I posted in our internal Extra Life chat room. The preview I did of our layout, it was like green text, and I thought that looked cool. It was the terminal text on my laptop. But then the online stopwatch was it was a little bit more like it was just white background, black text, like Arial font. Like it was a little more plain. So I was like, it's a shame it's not the terminal font, but it's still okay. This is like Windows. It's on Linux, but this is like a Windows 95 like font and color scheme.
That's what it looks like.
Because that's what Mate uses, because Mate actually, it just works. Mate's made to look good. The desktop environment is made to actually just get stuff done.
Which is great.
Yeah, that's what we use for our broadcast computer. But yeah, that is our time.
What did you install on that for the stream?
Ubuntu Mate.
Okay.
Is the distro that we're using. 16.10.
Well, you didn't trust Arch to...
You know, it wasn't really... It wasn't so much that I didn't trust Arch as I installed it last Tuesday, election day, when I came home to vote. I came home to vote, and then I installed Ubuntu Mate, and then I went back to Rella. But then I knew I wouldn't have enough time to get everything set up how I wanted it, because Arch will work for anything. You just have to have time to set it up. Like if I had to reinstall this laptop right now, it would take me a couple weeks to get it back to the way that it is right now.
Yeah, because Arch is not forgiving at all, from what you've told me.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually figured out how to roll back things that I'm doing easier recently, but yeah. What was I was going to go somewhere. Oh yeah, so this year we're using Rocket Chat, and Rocket Chat was something we did not have last year when we did our Extra Life 2015 stream. Now I know Michael wasn't with us for our 2015 stream, so we'll talk about this now that he's walking away. So Rocket Chat, for those of you who don't know, it is an open source Slack clone, basically. It's a Slack alternative. but it's very, very similar to Slack. And Adam, have you heard of Slack outside of me yet?
I have like very minorly heard of Slack, but not like a lot about it.
Okay,
So
and you
not-
still haven't. All right. These guys have never heard of Slack before, but anyone who is, I don't know, if you don't live under a rock, then you probably know what Slack is. It's a very popular group messaging thing that a lot of businesses use, small businesses and startups particularly. So maybe, I don't know, I don't know if I read a lot of things about startups or what, but.
Yeah, I could probably do.
But yeah, so Rocket Chat is an open source Slack alternative, and it's self-hosted. And so last year for the Extra Life stream, I texted everyone on Telegram, or I telegrammed everyone individually.
Yeah, it's
Do
good.
you think that having the Extra Life room this year, where we've got the group chat that everyone can see, helped? Like,
No,
what
I
do you
do think it helps a lot more. And then I don't know. It's not just about like sending someone to a specific person, which you might do, like if you're talking to someone else.
Yeah,
Kind of. I mean, if it's super specific, you still would. That gives everyone just more information in general.
yeah. Because
I
last
think
year,
it's
like
better.
I had to when I
can
made a
come
new
up
revision of the
and send it
schedule, I had to send it individually to every single
Yeah,
person.
and then it's just easier. Then I can. Yeah.
Doesn't Telegram have a group message feature?
Telegram does have a group message feature. The thing about Telegram is that it has a group message feature. I like that Rocket Chat, we can organize things into projects. So we've got the Extra Life 2016
That part is
project.
really nice.
So like we're gonna archive that, and then even if we have another project that all of these people, these exact same people are involved in, it will be filed under a different name because it's gonna be a different project. Because that keeps clutter out. And if you know like, oh, this file, I know I want this file and I sent it for Extra Life 2016, then I can go back to that room.
You just have all that available to you if you need it.
Yeah.
It's just.
I really do like Rocket Chat.
Yeah, aside from the notifications.
Except the notifications. are
Rocket
complete
Chat's
crap.
notifications do not work very well. Now the thing is, like, Slack has really good notification servers because they charge money for Slack.
Yeah.
Even though we could sign up for Slack for free after you get about 50 users, it's paid. But it's not self-hosted and it's not open source.
Yeah.
So that's another reason we don't use Slack.
Literally
But
the only complaint I have with Rocket Chat.
yeah, Rocket Chat. The thing is, their notification servers are free. So how many people are using their free notification servers?
lot.
And then they barely work. Now, if we wanted to buy our own notification servers, I can plug in my own notification server into Rocket Chat, and then the notifications would work great. But I'm not going to pay for a
Yeah, it's
notification
probably
server.
really expensive.
I need a separate one for Android and iOS because they're two different notification protocols too. And Android is free to make one. Actually, I have to pay for the server, but like I can get it activated for free. Apple charges a service fee for sending notifications, so Rocket Chat's covering that for us.
Okay.
But
That's kind of stupid.
yeah, well,
That's
yeah.
Apple.
Another thing somebody pointed out about GroupMe as compared to just texting, and I think it kind of applies to Rocket Chat as well. When you have a group message room, like if I ask Adam a question in the group room, it kind of obligates him to respond a little bit quicker and more detailed because like you're good about getting back to me, but let's say like somebody who doesn't get back to me very well, like Drew. Like, I'm just gonna use him as an example because he's not here. So if I text Drew 1-to-1 and he doesn't respond, then that's like I know he didn't respond. He knows he didn't respond, but nobody else knows that. If I send in the group message and I tag him and I ask him a question, then it's like everyone knows if he doesn't respond, so it kind of looks bad.
I feel like I'm more likely to respond to like Telegram like quicker.
Because of the notifications,
Okay, that
because it
probably is
is
because of
one-to-one.
that.
It's because you're responsible and you actually care about like interacting with me. I don't know. I don't think it's a huge problem for us. It's just another thing that I thought I'd throw in that I heard someone say about GroupMe. I think being in a group setting does kind of make
Yeah,
you
it
work
does,
a little
'cause
harder.
then you're like called out. That's
Yeah.
Rocket Chat app takes a long time to launch too compared to Telegram. So I don't know if
But-
that has anything to do with
Well,
it.
so the app is actually just an Electron wrapper.
Yeah.
It just loads the website. That's all
Okay.
the app does. It loads the website and does notifications. So yeah, it's been getting faster every time I update this
No,
the
it has
server.
it has gotten better.
It's gotten faster because it used to be a lot slower. But and you
And
can
it's
usually
not
tell when I
horrible.
update because the loading bar changes. So yeah, that's something else that's different this year. Yeah, what else? What else have we been doing? Adam, me and you used to do these every
See,
week. We used to every single week.
But
We
see,
used to do these.
It's like you have me come over and do these like podcast, and you go and you talk about these like huge things,
Like
huge
what?
projects, like how much time you put into
Yeah.
like Extra Life and stuff, and you expect me to just like talk about something, and I feel like no matter what I say, you're just gonna be like, oh, that's all you had to do.
No matter what, like, no, you always had things to talk about when we were doing the Friday night
No.
hangout. I miss the Friday night hangout. I
yes.
think it's good that we stopped it because it wasn't working the way that we were, like, when we were doing it, even the podcast, like when we did it remotely, it wasn't really working. Like,
Remotely? Oh.
it was like that. I felt like it didn't really go as well.
No, the Friday nights.
Friday nights were better,
Yeah.
but we can't do that anymore. But
It's kind of like, I don't know.
so the
But-
podcast is kind of
And
a
it's just
limbo.
like easier.
But you always had things to
like,
talk
get
about.
your ass. No, I still have stuff to talk
No,
about.
you can feel free to talk
I
about
was just thinking.
anything. Like, it doesn't have to be big nerd on the street things.
Let's see.
Aaron Star says, "Well, I guess I live under a rock, probably because he didn't hear about Rocket Chat."
Or Slack.
Slack.
Well,
Hip Chat is another one. You hear Hip Chat?
chat with those hip chat.
It's
I haven't heard of it either.
it's like an up and coming Slack
To be honest,
killer,
that kinda
but
sounded like-
also
I
not
don't
self-hosted.
like the name of that. Like, I wouldn't want to use that if I were like in a business. I just don't like the name.
Yeah. Once again, but Hip Chat is even more geared towards startups specifically.
I guess like younger, new age
Yeah.
startups or something. I don't know.
I'm gonna go grab a drink. You guys, some water. Talk about something, Adam. Tell them a story about your week.
Okay.
So we just put another computer together, and
Another one.
yeah, it was for my family. He was telling me about when you tried to put the I/O shield in your computer.
I don't know what an IO.
It's the piece of metal that you have to jam in the back to jam the motherboard in.
yourself on it.
His is. I looked.
Oh yeah, that
putting
annoying
it in.
thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
I looked when it's not in his. It's not.
Yeah,
in
that's
there.
right. Because he
Well, we
started
weren't
bleeding,
sure.
putting it in, and then he took it out.
Yeah, I think I just gave up. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not.
So the one we just built, we jammed it in there, and then I realized there was pins
Yeah.
like sticking in the port, and I'm like,
Yeah, you
well,
just can't.
bend those out of the way.
Even if I agreed with like the idea of having I/O shields, the pins are even dumber. Like they all have those. What is the point of those
I
pins?
think it's to support the port.
just don't
inside
have it. Because like my computer doesn't have that supporting the port.
I don't know how we got the one on mine in.
I don't know.
We jammed it in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like almost I got it's healed pretty much now, but I hurt myself like almost it's like the second most I've ever hurt myself putting a computer together.
was the first?
When I
What was the first?
I wasn't really putting a computer together, but when I like skinned my knuckle like on that CPU fan with you that one time.
You got yourself. Yeah, the last
was
one. The
dumb.
last one we did.
But yeah, the one that we did just recently, so the motherboard has those pins on the bottom.
Oh yeah,
That's what it was.
And I
yeah.
I didn't quite stab myself, but like I hurt myself a lot.
I think you're
on
gonna
my
say
palm.
you like scraped it.
I did. Like I scraped the pin.
That's just
and
not
it took
fun.
off like some skin.
I
yeah.
told you were gonna hurt yourself before we started putting that thing together.
Yeah, but you didn't. He didn't give me a warning like when I was doing what I was doing. He just said when we were walking in with like to the
Okay.
room with the parts. He's like, "You're gonna hurt yourself again."
You'd think, you'd be good at all this stuff now, and you wouldn't.
I
Do you
don't know.
remember what I told you about that one, right?
It's such a-
What?
What happened with that one? Because I had to take it
What
back
happened with it?
apart.
What happened
The
with
motherboard was bent.
Huh?
What happened?
Oh,
was,
yeah, 'cause
so
the-
it's a crap case. Do not go on Newegg. Select your board size and buy the cheapest case.
Yeah, that's not a good
there.
thing to do. Yeah.
So not only is the hard drive mounted thing is the
someone-
stupidest
did
thing
the-
I've ever seen, but
the doorbell ring?
so
Yes, it's a doorbell. What's it sound like?
what do you
Sorry
think?
to interrupt you. I think the doorbell might have.
I didn't hear it,
Okay.
and I can hear them. So
All right.
But so what happened was and you remember when we put the standoffs in that case, right? Like
Yes.
we put them in good.
Yeah.
I had to take a pair of pliers and turn the standoffs with pliers.
Yeah.
To get it back in there. Well, it's fine now. So. So don't buy crap.
Don't buy
cases.
cheap cases. Yeah.
Yeah, spend a little money on your case.
So Michael launched into a story when I walked away. How about you?
Oh, me launching
I
this
didn't
story?
quite finish. So like my point was like we're staying up for 25 hours for the stream, but I feel like I've been training for this because I've been staying up later and later and later as we've gotten closer to the stream, like preparing.
See, I don't know.
Just means
And
you're
also
gonna be more
like
tired.
making website tweaks. This website, like I got the widget on the side. I was telling Michael about this widget. So the official Extra Life embeddable widget it doesn't refresh every 30 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, did I tell you the whole story about that?
Not the whole story. You just kind of
Alright,
said it to me.
so the official Extra Life widgets, what you do is you embed an iframe, and then it loads a web page on Extra Life's server, and that web page uses PHP to, on server side, it gets the how much money your goal is and how much money you've raised and how high the bar should be. And then it sends it to your computer as part of the HTML page. So if you do inspect element, it says $50 if we had $50 raised. Wave Michael, we are watching. Hello. You
Hi,
caught us in
Wade.
the middle of a podcast, but yeah, we're doing a podcast right now, and then
That's 26
people are taking a
minutes ago.
break. Okay, yeah, people are taking a break from their gaming right now, but yeah, that's what's going on. Right. So what I did was I took their HTML from their widget, and then I took out the $50, and in place of that, I put JavaScript that checks with Dailymotion's JSON API. That if you do this, I think I showed this to Michael. So if you go to xlife.net/code, this is our xlife page, right? And then if you do and format equals JSON, you get this. So if you go to this website, you get like fundraising, total raised amount is 400 right now. Display name, known on the street. Fundraising goal, 230. So what it does is, right now is I replace the money amount with a piece of JavaScript that calls this page up, picks out the total raised amount, and then adds a $ to it and displays it there. And then for the height of this bar, that was also something calculated server side before. So I took out the height, used to be a certain percentage, and it's funny, it was like 22% when it was $50, but if you actually take 50 divided by 230, it's actually 21 point something.
Oh.
So what I did was, I took out the percentage amount of the height, and then I put in a piece of JavaScript that calls this, divides the fundraising amount, the total raised amount, by the fundraising goal for a decimal, multiplies that by 100, and then adds a percentage sign for the percent, and then sets that as the height for the red bar.
Oh,
And that's why the red bar is going up as we get more. And then I also added a meta tag. I found out there's a tag called a meta tag you can use for HTML. And one of the things you can do with it is, say, refresh the page every 30 seconds. So I could put that on the website and it would refresh the whole thing every 30 seconds, but I just put it in the iframe, so only this frame is refreshing every 30 seconds. So
yeah, I noticed that. That's really cool.
yeah, so that's how I did that. So that took a while,
Yeah, I'm sure.
because I didn't even know, I learned jQuery for that. There's this thing called jQuery, it's a JavaScript library. And I didn't even know that before, but that's how I roll. If I want to do something, and then everyone said, well, you can do it with JavaScript, but it's 30 lines of code, and you can do it with jQuery, and it's 1 line of code. So I'm like, I guess I'll learn jQuery.
She's the Google machine for.
Yeah. So yeah, my point was I had been staying up later and later, and so I feel like I have no problem staying up anymore.
You said you've been like training yourself for this day.
Yeah.
But like me, since the beginning, you know what? Let's take this back to freshman year of high school. Even.
Okay.
Like I've been maybe getting like 5 hours of sleep, so I don't feel like I've been getting trained.
Well, you stay up super late.
Yeah, I do.
Like,
And even like even recently, it's been even later. So maybe I go to sleep at like 3 or 3:30 or something, and
Yeah.
wake up like before 9. Whatever. But then last night was even worse.
oh yeah.
I maybe got like 2 hours of sleep last night.
I was up until like midnight last night.
But see, yeah,
And I got up at 4:30 a.m.
right. Oh, you
because
got
I
up-
live
yeah,
30
you
minutes
got
away
up-
from here, and then I got here 30 minutes before
Yeah,
everyone
you
else
got
too.
us up way earlier
So-
than I did. So you probably didn't get.
Luckily, I only live 5 minutes away,
Yeah.
I thought you got less than that.
Yeah, Adam lives about 30 seconds away.
and you were the last person here.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was. I don't know if he
Stephanie
was.
was. He's second last.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
But you live literally.
I like how the people from
100
Rava
yards
got
that
here
way.
before you, though. Like,
okay, yeah, but they gotta like prepare.
and I also liked how
You gotta make
Linda was
sure they're
here.
early.
Like when Linda showed up, I was expecting to walk in with her, and then
So when she left, all I had to do was get the drinks out of the fridge, put them in the car, and I was gonna leave. All of a sudden, I can't find my keys anywhere. I would literally have them in my hand because I opened the car with it to put all my stuff in.
Yeah.
I can't find them anywhere at all. So that's what was like 15
We
minutes.
were
late.
literally joking about that last night. Remember?
About
me,
what?
me having to carry like all of my stuff like down the street.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I called my mom, and
then nobody. Yeah, I won't talk about that on stream. Nothing. We nothing. Don't worry about it. We'll leave that for not stream discussion. But yeah, that was interesting this morning.
yeah, you guys parked kind of like far away.
Yeah, Michael told me to.
Did you like?
I wanted to park close.
Did you
but he
carry your
was like,
stuff from all the way?
No,
away?
we parked in
the
front. Like we parked at the curb and then carried the stuff in and then moved it.
Yeah,
Just because there's going to be people getting here tomorrow before we leave, so we just parked up in the corner. So.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
gonna
I
have
didn't
30
think about
minutes to
that.
pack up and get everything out.
Well, that's gonna be tough.
We'll do it.
Yeah, we'll just throw it all in the back of your car. It'll be fine.
Exactly.
At least you don't have to come back up here.
Yeah.
Probably
gonna be fun.
longer to set everything up. But.
Yeah. So tomorrow after the stream, what are you doing tomorrow after the stream, Michael?
What am I doing?
Michael, Adam.
I don't know. Like last year, right after the stream, I didn't even go to sleep really after.
I didn't last
I
year.
took like an hour nap, and then I was like, I'm already awake.
I was like super tired. Drake was the last one at my house, and I was like, I'm gonna stay here until the last person leaves. And then like I was super tired. Drake left, and then I'm like, I'm not tired anymore. All right.
And it's like once you get to a certain time and the sunlight's
Yeah.
everything, and you're awake. So honestly, probably nothing. I'm probably gonna take like a nap and then just do whatever until late Sunday.
Yeah. So
nothing.
Michael, what are you doing tomorrow
So,
after the stream?
so we have 30 minutes to get out of here. I'm going to go home and sleep for about 5 hours.
At least you don't have to work Fusion 56.
I don't work that anymore.
Like, what if you had to stay
I
here
was
and
supposed to
keep
do
working?
media in the morning, and I'm like, I'm
At
not.
least
I
you have
can't
to do
it.
that. Yeah.
So and then I get to come back up here, reset this whole stage for a full band, and be here till about 10 o'clock
I'll
at
just
night.
pull the stuff we pushed back there
Yeah.
back out here.
Well, yeah, but I got to do light cues. I got to set up ProPresenter for the lyrics.
Yeah.
I got to repatch all the audio. Like it's gonna be a fun process.
Yeah. What are they doing over there?
I don't know.
How much can you hear it? Are we clear?
Yeah, we can hear us.
All right,
So
that's
kind
all
of-
I care about. It just sounds like more background music.
No, there's like a horn in the game that you can like knock people out with it.
What are they
Like,
playing?
What game is
Duck
it?
game.
Oh.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, so it's just like
Anyway,
different stuff. You hear that?
so Michael, yeah, coming back up here to work tomorrow. I don't think you got that far in your. I think I interrupted you.
Yeah, so I got to come back up here. For an event.
Adam knows what that's like.
Come back up
Getting
here for an event, and then you're off on
Yeah,
Monday.
so this next week is actually my my Thanksgiving break week.
Yeah, you get the whole week
Raleigh.
off, don't you?
Yeah, and you get. Are you going to school Monday at least?
I have Monday and Tuesday at school.
At school, all right. So like, if we had done the stream last week and like we originally planned to, then I would have had to go back for school. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I don't have school tomorrow or Monday. Now me and Kirsten have to go to a family Thanksgiving on Sunday after the stream, like
Well,
just a few hours after we finish.
you know,
so
don't
that'll
eat-
be fun.
Don't eat too much turkey. Doesn't that like put you to sleep?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I
be
didn't think
careful
about
about
that.
that.
Would that be a
Good
bad
I-
thing, though, honestly, at this point?
I don't know.
I don't know.
There's a reason we
I guess
didn't get like turkey to eat here.
But yeah, this week actually probably worked out the best for me. I don't know. It just
Yeah,
seems like it works
school
out really
Monday,
good.
Tuesday,
It
and
worked for me.
Wednesday.
Did you guys see any Rooster Teeth stream last week?
No.
I don't normally like to talk about our competitors on our stuff, but
I watched some like I don't think I really caught the stream. I watched some clips afterwards, but
I was watching. I don't know. I turned it on for a few hours. Like midnight was the last hour, but then a few hours until midnight I was watching, and they had broken 500,000 when I stopped watching, and they ended up with like 850,000
yeah, it's
raised. That was crazy. And last year they were like 400 something thousand. So this year their goal was 500,000, but they doubled the amount that they raised from last year. And I haven't gotten a chance to go back. I actually didn't. I intentionally, did not watch their like too many clips from their stream this year before our stream now because I didn't want it to like subconsciously change what we were doing, right?
Yeah.
But I will go back and watch the full recording of their stream, and I think like Matt or somebody did a speech at the end about like something where they kind of explained why they thought it happened. I think, but I didn't see it, so I'm not sure. Stephanie wants to come inside. She sent in the chat.
Oh.
Is Helen or
No.
Devin's getting her? All right. I like that we've got Devin here. Like I like that. Devin's great.
He's like, he can be like our intern.
I didn't think about, like, Devin wasn't on, like, the list of people to invite just because, like, I didn't talk, I don't know, I don't talk to him as much as I talk to, like, Michael, but, like, Devin's great. And I'm gonna formally invite him next year, I think, because gets really into things, right? Like, it's one of the hard things about leading a group of people doing a stream or anything is getting them excited about it. Like displays, like I always have to get you guys excited about doing it. Like you have to be excited to animate, whether you like it or not. You're gonna be excited about it, right? But, like Devin's someone who it's like you can give him something that you're doing and he'll just jump right in.
You haven't put Devin through animating.
I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to break it. But I don't want to find the exception to what I'm saying. But yeah, he'll just jump right into something and put himself into it. Yeah. So that's great for streaming. What were we talking about before that? No. Yes, Devin just showed up though, like to say hello to you, I guess.
Well, yeah, because he's been out of town for
months. He's going to college a little bit further, like by Kansas City. Like
it's like 3 hours away.
So that's all the way across the state. Yeah. What were we talking about before that though? See, these podcasts just don't flow like they used to. They just don't flow.
I think
like
it's just easier, like in like your basement.
But this is like super relaxed. We're on a couch.
Yeah, but it's just like us.
What do you think about me and Michael came here last night and we did all these lights?
No,
we
really
picked out
good.
the colors
like,
in the.
I like this, but there's no like distractions down there. It's just like us in our quiet little space. We don't have like ducks quacking. We don't have people getting in and out.
Horns going on.
Whatever, exactly. We don't have like people like.
What do you think about the shades of the blues? Because like it took us a while to find a combination that we liked.
Oh yeah, I like those. And I like blue. That's my
exactly.
My colors.
So all right, that's good. Because if you liked like red or green, it would be really awkward. Because blue is nerd on the street color.
Yeah. So.
As you might be able to tell by the two people wearing Nerd on the Street shirts, you haven't put the extra light button on, or neither has anyone else. We need to give it to someone else if you're not going to put it on.
I'll put it on after this.
If either of you want mac and cheese, I don't know if you can even.
No, I can't have it.
If you want mac and cheese, you can go and get some. I don't want any. I'm still full.
Why'd she go get mac and cheese?
Her work gave it to her for free, so she didn't want to say
heck yeah, free food?
Yeah.
That's why I'm so fat. So heck yeah. So, but while we were talking about these lights, the ones that are in these metal.
This will be great for our audio listeners. So like, really explain what we're talking about here.
The reason it took because it took us like an hour to set these lights.
An hour. We were not here for 2 hours.
It was like an hour.
Yeah.
But it's because the ones that are in these trusses are more color accurate than like these ones on the walls or the one in the back. So
so there's expensive lights and there's cheap lights basically.
Yeah.
But the cheap ones, if you put them in a certain color, then they flicker when you're looking at them through a camera, not to your eyes, but to your camera. I think that the reason why it does that is because they only can do a certain number of colors, and when you set them to an in between, I think what they do. This is just a total guess. I have no idea if this is true, but my guess would be, and why they flicker on camera, I think like if you set it to a darker purple, it flickers between red and blue and does more blue than red, or more red than red.
It was explained to me at one point. It was
I've seen something like that like recently.
Yeah.
Because these cheaper lights, like that's green and blue right now, this very back one, but these ones in the trusses are straight teal, but then these ones on the sides are actually red and blue.
Yeah.
So,
but the default for these was like purple and red and green. I was like, that's not Nerd on the Street. Let's get something Nerd on the Street here.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we have them.
Yeah.
Then we got the ones up top too. I don't know if those are cut out of the frame, but they're up there.
What's Devin doing over
I
there?
just heard a microwave beeping.
That's cool.
They're cooking stuff. Okay, now
What else is going on?
Spots in my eyes.
Because we were looking at the lights.
Don't stare up into the light bar.
I was looking at this video, and they were saying how you can like trick your eyes into thinking you're colorblind.
Oh yeah.
And what you gotta do is you gotta close an eye. This just makes one eye colorblind. And then you turn on the light of your phone and you shove it up next to your closed eye, and just hold it there for like a minute. And it could do like different things, like it can take colors.
It just seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, why would you want to be colorblind?
No, it's just for like a minute or something. It's just like 30.
Yeah, but still, why would you want to be colorblind for a minute? Like, I would be concerned.
Just to be like interested, I guess.
Or you can look up a picture online.
Interested or interesting?
To be interested.
Just because you're like interested in knowing like what it looks like, I guess. Like, yeah, wouldn't you like to know what the world looks like without like reds? Or like whatever. I don't know how much it really works. Some people are like, oh, it just dims the colors, and some people are like, oh,
Yeah, because
red's
they
purple.
can still see things that are red. They just can't tell the difference between like red and green.
I feel like, yeah, okay.
Whatever.
I guess that's a good
Because
one.
my brother's actually partly colorblind. He's,
Oh, yeah.
like, I think it's called.
Like it's pretty common.
I think
to be
red
partly
green
colorblind.
actually means you're like blue and purple you mix up, which doesn't make any sense, but that's like what
Yeah.
they call it. But
Yeah.
so.
I don't know.
Hey, I've been meaning to ask you, by the way, going
Yeah.
back. So, I know there's clips of that interview we did in the
Oh,
video
yeah.
we've been showing.
Uh-huh.
How did the audio turn out for that? It sounded pretty
The
good.
audio for that turned out great. That's a good thing to talk about. So, did you? I don't know how much you've seen of that video that we've been playing. Oh, did you go and watch it when I sent it to Extra Life, in our Rocket Chat?
Oh.
I sent out that video a while ago. I was like, "Here's the video that I made." Like I edited it.
I must have missed that then.
Oh, well, yeah.
Jeez.
Stephanie went with her brother to the St. Louis Children's Hospital, like on one of his checkup days, and got some footage with her GoPro. And then me and Michael went and recorded her doing an interview with the Children's Miracle Network representative. And then I cut those, and I did some narration and put some music behind it. Which for the music, I actually took 2 royalty-free tracks, and I was listening what I wanted it to be, like which one of these. I was going through and listening to all my different royalty-free stuff. What song do I want to use? And I found one song that I really, really liked, but I was like, it's a little too slow, a little too mellow, just a little too slow. So I'm gonna look and see if I can find something better. And then I found another song, and I was like, okay. The one song was like, the first one was called "Whispering Through." I don't remember what the second one was called, but then the second one was like more guitar-y like stuff.
A little more upbeat.
More upbeat, yeah, but it was really interesting because I listened to the second one and then I was like, you know, that's interesting. It sounds kind of like the first one. It's just more upbeat. And then I went back and listened to the first one, and the first one was definitely different, but they were in the same key.
oh, okay.
So I was like, and just from listening to a bunch of different ones, like 10 songs later, because Whispering Through was toward the end alphabetically. I listened to like 10 or 20 songs at the beginning of the alphabetical list, and I got to this one. I'm like, that sounds kind of like the one that I really liked. So what I did was, since they're in the same key, I dragged them both into Audacity. One of them was a little bit faster than the other one. Now, what was nice was Whispering Through was 120 BPM. I could tell, because just from like looking at it and watching my watch. And then the other one was from Incompetech, the one that I can't remember the name for. It was from Incompetech.com. And Incompetech is awesome. Kevin McLeod is the name of the person who runs that. And yeah, there's hundreds and hundreds of songs that he's written and put out for free. But he actually lists the BPM. So it was 115. Now Audacity, I don't know if you've ever used the change tempo on Audacity.
Have not.
Audacity, you can change speed, which changes the pitch and the speed, or you can change tempo.
That's cool.
And if you change tempo, then it actually doesn't like raise or lower it. In the change tempo, you can do it by percentage, or you can just do it from this BPM to this. So I just put 115 to 120 to 115 to make it, because I wanted it to be longer. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So matched them up, and then I ended up, one of them was a lot shorter than the other one, so I just copied the bit that I liked
Gotcha.
onto the other one a couple times. So I actually combined 2 songs for that video.
That's cool. Well, I when it was playing, I went up and listened to it. It
Yeah.
turned out really well. I was glad because it was windy as all heck.
Yeah,
when we were
the
recording
audio
that
for the audio for the interview was so we use this microphone.
Yeah, it was this. It's a Rode NTG2 shotgun mic, and
Yeah,
it worked
so,
really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see Stephanie holding it in the video, and yeah, like when we were there, we were just out in front of the Starbucks, so there were like cars driving by and stuff.
Yeah.
Pe- semi trucks.
Yeah, well, we stopped for the semi truck.
Yeah, I hope so. Just
Because it drove.
Were you
like
gonna say
go
something?
by. What?
You were gonna say something
About what?
about the mic or what we were doing?
Oh no, I was just
The
gonna
video?
say I saw like obviously the thing clip of it that you showed
Yeah.
like all this times, and I thought it sounded really good like today. So
Yeah.
I would think that the whole thing would be good.
Well, did you see the clip that I posted to Rocket Chat then?
No, I said like I guess I missed that. I don't know when you sent
Okay.
that, but I must like.
Well, yeah, I don't have the full interview today to show on the stream, but that will be posted eventually. But then, yeah, we made the highlight video because Rooster Teeth does they've got a 10-minute one that they play every hour and a half or so. And people always joke, like the Rooster Teeth one, you memorize it by the time, like if you watch the entire stream, like even watching the recordings, I didn't skip through it, I memorized it. Now their video this year actually wasn't as good as their one last year. Their one last year, they had a separate team go in and shoot B-roll, and the team that did the A-roll was like the more experienced Rooster Teeth people, but then the B-roll people were like some interns, and they were like goofing around and having a good time with it. This year they only had the A team go in, and so the A team was doing the B-roll too, but like the B-roll was kind of awkward and like less fun. But yeah, so ours is a bit shorter. Ours is only a couple minutes, so like we gotta
B-roll
play.
can be sometimes harder to shoot than main footage.
Yeah.
It's,
And what had happened was Stephanie was originally planning to make Tony her brother going to the children's hospital into its own video, and then she ended up like she thought she was gonna be able to interview someone that day, and then she wasn't able to. Like nobody wanted to do the interview, and then like. That was supposed to be A-roll, and then stuff ended up changing, and I told her, yeah, just go ahead and just get B-roll that day. And she actually still like got some audio, but I just muted all of those for the video that I made. Now, she made a separate video that includes audio from those clips.
With my brother in the hospital, I tried to get like an interview type video with him, but for some reason he didn't take it serious at all and couldn't complete a full sentence.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
got video, but it just sucks.
yeah.
audio can be hard sometimes, especially if you don't
Well,
have
yeah, the
proper
audio for that was
microphones.
just the internal GoPro audio too, so that's not
something
great.
anybody...
I liked the fishbowl look like for the GoPro for the B-roll.
Yeah.
Like
Wide
that
angle's
was
good for anyone. If anybody's listening, if you want to get into recording video, get yourself a decent microphone with it too.
Get yourself a Yeti.
A Yeti's a
That's
good,
all you ever need.
honestly,
Until you start interviewing people in front of a Starbucks, then you need something
you don't need any
more
of this
complicated.
Well, the reason I have a lot of this is because I record instruments and stuff too. Like,
Yeah.
Like that I got for video because that's about all that's good for. But
Yeah. Now, does this have a mount where I can mount it on the shoe thing on my camera?
I don't know if that one does.
But they make shotgun mics that have those.
They have shotgun mics that are made specifically to mount on DSLRs.
Yeah.
So. Because we've mounted those like in the Sony cams before, but that's got like an actual shock mount on it. So.
Yeah, editing that video was another thing that took a while.
How long did it take?
thing.
How long did it take to edit that video?
I did the whole thing in one day. So that that day I didn't do anything else. I was like, I got done with class and I'm like, all right, next 6 hours I'm doing this video, and then I got the whole thing done in one day.
Video editing's fun.
And I didn't just do the editing; I did the narration at the same time,
Yeah.
and just the planning. Like I had to sketch out what I wanted. Like I typed out a little script, like me saying this interview clip here, me saying this interview clip of them saying this. So, and then I went. I actually used some of the things that we learned at RTX, the editing panel.
Oh, yeah.
Like they said you should always watch all of your sources. Like before you start cutting things, you should watch all of your source footage through. And that's something I didn't used to do. Like I used to edit as you go, and whatever you don't like, cut out. But I've actually tried a couple of different edits that I've done. I've tried doing what they recommended, which is watch it all the way through. You can think about what you want to cut out, but don't cut anything. Just watch it all the way through, and then go back and do the edit. And I think it takes more time is the trade-off.
for sure.
But I think it does make a more. I think it helps make a better edit.
What did they edit with? Out of curiosity.
Some of their office uses Final Cut Pro 10. Some of their office uses, I think, Premiere. I know some of them have Premiere installed. I've seen, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I can't get behind Final Cut 10 personally.
I
but
can't get behind Windows, but that doesn't stop you from using it. Yeah, I like Final Cut Pro 10. If Apple sold Final Cut Pro 10 for Linux, I would buy it for $300. Like I would buy Final Cut Pro 10 for Linux.
Adobe has gotten so expensive though.
Yeah.
It's-
Well, Adobe, you don't even own the soft. Like if you want to get an
Lease it.
outright license, it's like $700.
I don't know. You
for-
cannot get outright licenses anymore.
you can't
have
even get
to-
it?
It is all Creative Cloud
Yeah,
now.
and then so it's a recurring.
And the only reason I
license.
have it is because I have a discount for it. Because it's like $50 a month,
Yeah.
which is like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculously
Now
expensive.
see, the Caden Live uses a licensing model called the GPL, General Public License, and how that works is it's actually illegal to make money on it. So, you can use it for whatever you want.
I did like.
It's not
Caden Live.
technically illegal to make money on it. Actually, you can sell it, but you have to provide source code without selling it. So there's no reason.
What was the name of that other Linux editor that wasn't free?
Lightworks?
I never used that.
My problem with it is the workflow is horrendous, I think, but then I also think that the Premiere workflow is pretty bad. So like it's just Premiere with a little like more quirks, but it's like Premiere you can set an in point and an out point and insert.
Yeah.
Like Lightworks is big into that. Like you set in points and out points and you insert. You don't so much drag it on and then make clips and cuts. Like and then like once things are in the timeline, sort of like Final Cut Pro 10, like if there's two clips next to each other and you click the edge of one and drag, then the other one goes with it.
Yeah.
So
I love Adobe's timeline.
Yeah.
That's one of the big selling points for me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I did use Kdenlive a lot for a while there.
Yeah.
And I haven't used the new version. I never.
now when you say you haven't used a new version, so your version did not have live audio preview?
Like
when you
whenever
click on
you
the
told me,
timeline.
I remember you telling me they rewrote all the code or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's when they added the new audio.
Yeah, I
preview.
didn't have it.
All right.
Well,
because we were talking, I was like, man, when we were doing the karaoke stuff, I was like, the live audio preview where you click in the timeline and like you can, like if you click and drag through the timeline, it plays the audio there.
Yes.
If you click and drag backwards, it plays the audio backwards. I said it would be really hard doing the karaoke thing without the live audio preview. But then I mentioned that they didn't used to have that. Like I used Kdenlive before they had that.
because I don't believe I've used it since they added that then.
Yeah, for a while there it got a little less responsive, but it's back up to.
Well, I remember when it first started, because you were telling me about it when like, you had to switch back for a little while because it was completely
Yeah, when they rewrote
unstable.
Kdenlive, and what happened was KDE5 happened and Qt5 happened with that, and so they had to rewrite everything for Qt5, and then they took the opportunity to also refactor their code, which is programmers' terms for like, you know how when you have an essay, you can have like a 20-page essay, and you can make edits and revisions here and there, right? And you
Yeah.
can try and touch it up, but then sometimes it's just so bad that you have to
gotta start over.
Yeah, just keep this open in one window, keep those ideas in your head, but then just write it from scratch in another window, right? It's basically the programming equivalent of that, refactoring. So we're just gonna, this is our program, it does what we want it to do, but the code is horrendous, so we're just going to write the program again and then make it better this time.
Yeah, they fixed it though,
Yeah, it's definitely gotten more stable.
which is
since then.
the new version of Premiere is the most
And
unstable thing
what
I've
what
ever
file
seen.
format does Premiere use? Because I've been telling you the fact that .kdenlive files are XML files.
I have no idea.
Is a big thing because like if
you can
if
fix
a Minecraft server, like if a Minecraft world gets corrupted, I can like open it and see at it and try and fix it. But like if a .kdenlive, that's a really bad comparison. But you know, like corrupted files. Do you know how to fix corrupted files?
Not that hard.
Corrupted MP4 files are hard. Did you see my video about
saw that
fixing
video.
broken MP4 files?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, the corrupted MP4 files are really hard to fix. But corrupted .kdenlive files, you open up in the text editor, find the XML that's not right, take it out,
fix it.
and then it opens. Yeah.
That's great.
So that's a part of it too.
Yeah.
I don't use Kdenlive because it's on Linux. I use Linux because it has Kdenlive at this point.
Kdenlive's.
That's a big reason. Like I've considered, should I do a Hackintosh again? Well, then I couldn't use Kdenlive.
Is it for any? There is no OS X version of Kdenlive.
I think you can run it through that KDE for other platforms project, but it's not great.
Not for something that you need to
Yeah,
depend
like
on to edit with.
OpenShot is a Linux editor that's recently released OS 10 and it's Mac OS now. It's not OS X anymore.
Yeah, I know. I'm never gonna stop saying it though because I've always called it OS X.
That's what I said. I've said that about other things, and then eventually I break. What else have I said that about? Like I'm gonna call it the old name forever, and then like 2 weeks later I conform.
Well, it's
I
not
know
even-
I've done that with things.
It's not even doing. It's just out of habit at this point. Like
Yeah.
I don't even.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, OpenShot recently released Windows and Mac OS versions that are actually like supported.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kdenlive not really.
Speaking of Apple, you want to talk about the new MacBook?
All right, the new MacBook Pro. Have you heard about it?
Yeah.
Do you know what the problem is?
It's no.
Okay. No function keys
No function keys.
in the MacBook Pro. This is their highest end machine. No function keys, no escape key.
How do you escape?
You can't.
There's a
no
touch
escape
bar.
key. There's a new touch screen.
Here, can you pull it up real quick?
Well, I don't want to. I can, but I'm getting dizzy. Wow. Oh. Oh. This is what happens when you stay up way too long, guys. Drink plenty of water, everyone. I'm seriously. You want to search MacBook Pro new, like 2016? Wow. I'm fairly certain I have a heart condition or a blood pressure condition or something. Like me and Kirsten went with when my sister from Australia was in town. We went with her to Six Flags because the person from she brought someone else from Australia with her, and he wanted to see Six Flags. So we went there. I rode the Batman. I almost passed out. Like it wasn't a problem where I was gonna puke. I don't like get sick on rides, but
Yeah.
I almost I was lightheaded and my vision was tunneling when I was on. Like that's not normal, is it?
Here, not here.
That's the Mac.
I got it.
That's just the normal MacBook. Although, all right, so this is it.
Alright.
Yeah,
Yeah, there
genius.
we go.
All right, so there's this new bar. So that's actually not a physical key. There's a touch screen here.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. Also, this trackpad does not click anymore.
What?
It stays the same, and then you push down and it vibrates to make it feel like it clicked.
So, those are all things though, but this is what I really want to talk about, which is the thing I think is the most ridiculous. So if you go to these models here, so the base 13-inch, so first off, you cannot get a 13-inch with a quad-core processor.
Yeah, and these are video editing machines. These are animation machines. These
So
are
what do we got on the side here? We got Thunderbolt and Type-C.
right. You only have 2 USB ports on these.
Where's the normal?
And that's including your power port. There's no separate power port. So you cannot have like your iPhone, a mouse, and your power plugged in at the same time. In their high-end machine.
I feel like
Here it is. This is what I was looking for. So
Yeah, mine's
we're
not.
talking $1,400.
And even the highest-end processor is 2.9 gigahertz. This thing's 4 gigahertz. What's yours?
My laptop, it's like 2.8
What's
or
the-
something like
yeah.
that. But that's a mobile
Yeah.
CPU. Now, so
What's the what?
about the like what was the last like MacBook that they had Pro?
so I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't follow. these.
$1,500 for a dual core 2.0 gigahertz i5, 8 gigs of RAM, integrated graphics.
Yeah, that doesn't even have. Well, it's Iris graphics. That's actually a discrete chip. It's just made by Intel. It's a discrete chip.
So-
it's not Iris Pro.
No.
It's just Iris.
So-
in their Pro machine.
So for a $2,000 laptop, now how much was this one?
3,000.
Okay.
Give it. Yeah.
So what's the specs of this machine?
4 gigahertz desktop processor.
It's a 6600K, isn't it? Something like that.
Something like that.
It's
yeah.
Skylake, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So a desktop 1080.
Desktop 1080.
So this is a screaming
16 gigs of
laptop.
RAM.
This is
16 gigs of RAM with 2 free slots.
an SSD, a PCIe
PCIe
SSD.
SSD.
So
And not to mention plus a hard drive. You can't get hard drives in these because they're too thick. Hard drives are too thick. But
so for
And-
$2,000, you're talking a dual core i5, 8 gigs of RAM. You got
who would
okay.
pay $2,000 for a dual core processor?
People-
and it's not even an i7. It's an
feel
i5.
like-
I
feel
So
like
if
a
we
lot
go
of
over to the
people would.
15-inch,
Like
The people who you like photographers maybe.
I just feel like they're like they know that they can like people will pay for this. 'Cause
Oh, yeah, well, that's why they did it.
Already pay for like so much money. For,
That's
like,
why they
Apple
did
products.
it,
Like,
but-
it's a lot.
so
I mean,
But yeah,
I kind of
that's-
like
you're talking $2,500 to get something that's even close
You're-
to what you would want.
Yeah.
you're
which is
kind of
insane.
complaining about like the front stuff.
What time is this in?
Let me look real quick.
You check on that. Keep going.
I said you're kind of complaining about the front stuff, which actually now that I think about, it, I can almost kind of like. I can get behind some of that.
What do you mean? No function keys?
Yeah,
Like,
I like the touchscreen.
How many times do I click like F1 for help? Or like,
Well,
I guess some of like Linux, this is important
so-
because you do this to get into a terminal.
what does the touchscreen do?
The-
Like, what does the touchscreen on top
it's
do?
different depending on the program you're in.
This sends
So
it
if you're on the
forward.
desktop, it's gonna have an escape key and it'll have like a file button, maybe. I don't know.
I figured there'd still be stuff like the update is in touchscreen.
Half-Life 1
Well,
starts at 8:45.
8:45. All right. Well, it's about time for Half-Life 1. We're actually having a discussion now.
But
What's Half-Life go until?
Hold on, sorry. 1 second.
Anyway,
this I like though. Like
the touchpad not clicking?
I kind of like that
Are you kidding?
because I like this like the quieter stuff, and even though the click's already kind of quiet, I'd rather like
I
just
need
be nothing
actual
but-
feedback. Also, they're bragging about the fact that their keyboard goes down like half as much as the old keyboards. Like the keys press in half as much as the old ones do.
that.
Because they're like, oh,
See,
our
I get-
keyboard's half as thick
I get
now.
satisfaction
Half-Life
by
goes till
clicking a
10.
key.
Yeah, you don't get as much satisfaction by clicking the
Half-Life goes till
Yeah,
10.
so-
till
so,
10.
yeah.
Okay, we're good to go a little bit over.
So, and speaking of that keyboard, I use a mechanical keyboard 99% of the time. Those
Now,
things have like half an inch of travel.
I'll say I like chiclet keyboards, like my Apple wireless or my Apple wired keyboard. I love that thing. That's my favorite keyboard. This is actually more like an older PC keyboard. What's on this laptop? This is like there's space between the keys, kind of plasticky keys, but like I'm okay with this, and at least this has a number pad. I don't think the new MacBook Pros have a number pad, do they?
I don't think they ever have.
They never have, yeah.
Yeah, no.
And I need a number pad.
So I can get away with
Like,
not having an. I don't
A
need a
Blender
number
you
pad.
literally cannot do without a number pad, but even just like entering things into Excel sometimes or LibreOffice Calc, sometimes I need a number pad for. Like I use the 10 key.
There are certain times I wish
Like
I had one.
yeah.
Like what you're talking about. If you're inputting a lot of numbers, but I can get away without having one.
Because like, well, sometimes I'll have my mouse in one hand and then like this in the other hand.
Yeah.
Because I can do this with one hand. This is really hard to do with one hand. The top row of keys.
Well, I don't type correctly to begin with, so that's probably part of it. But
Yeah.
so yeah, I can manage with just the top row of numbers.
You can't ring that. Nobody's done it right now.
For Blender, you probably want a whole keyboard, a number pad, and then an entire another like one of those like banks of buttons.
Those would be nice. Really like
They're
hotkeys.
expensive.
It's just memorize the hotkeys. Like that's all. But yeah, you don't. So you'd be okay with the MacBook Pro, right? The new MacBook Pro.
Yeah.
But are you a pro?
No, I'm not.
Yeah. So why would you buy a MacBook Pro?
I wouldn't buy a
They should
MacBook
just
Pro.
call that the MacBook, right? They should have a MacBook Pro with a quad-core processor.
I didn't know there was. So they have 3 different types of laptops?
Yeah, they have MacBook, MacBook Air, and MacBook Pro.
I don't know the MacBook.
The new MacBook Pro is like, isn't it just as thin as the MacBook Air?
Probably.
I think I heard that, but I don't know if that's true.
And then they sacrificed the headphone jack on the iPhone 7, which really ticked me off.
But then they have a headphone jack, so they say the future is wireless headphones and lightning headphones. And then the new MacBook Pros don't have lightning ports. Do they? They only have Thunderbolt.
No,
3. There's 2 Thunderbolt 3, which is USB-C.
yeah, so
There's no lightning, so you
let's-
can't use those. But they still have, so you can't use your MacBook's headphones on your
there is
iPhone.
no way currently to plug an iPhone
Yeah,
into
Because
a new
when
MacBook
you buy a brand new MacBook,
without a dongle.
when you buy a brand new MacBook, it's just got 2 USB-C. And then when you buy a brand new iPhone, it's got a USB 2.0 cord.
You have to buy
So-
an adapter.
That is.
Is that not the most ridiculous thing
That's
ever?
stupid.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And do I look like someone
And-
who uses crappy wireless headphones?
Yeah.
I have headphones that cost $300. I'm not going to
See,
use wireless
I don't know.
AirPods.
That kind of makes me mad because I have an Apple, even though it's really old. I do have an iPhone right now.
Yeah.
I do too.
Oh yeah, you've got your iPhone that has about
I've heard about your
5-minute
iPhone.
battery, doesn't have Wi-Fi, screen's falling off.
right.
Anything I missed?
But see, like,
anything I missed?
Does it have like the RAM and the CPU still like hanging in there?
Yeah.
Maybe we could tape that back together too before the night's over.
Anyway, continue. Now that we've
But it's the same, like,
phone shamed
after
you.
that breaks, like, I'd want to get, like, another iPhone.
Yeah.
And right now I'm on a MacBook Air, and obviously after that breaks, I'm so used to having, like, a MacBook or whatever for a laptop,
Yeah.
I'd want to get a new one of those, so if they're messing them all up then.
Yeah, like you wouldn't be able to plug it. Yeah. Even if you got a new phone, it's not even the fact that your phone's too
I just
old.
wanna-
It's like the new
Yeah,
ones
no, that's
don't
what,
plug.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
like if it wants to upgrade it, like I'm gonna have to upgrade
Yeah.
my stuff pretty fast.
So you're
I
gonna spend if you're gonna buy so like if we had to buy one that we wanted for what we wanted, you're gonna spend close to $3,000 on it. Then you get probably $200 in
less.
adapters to plug your stuff into.
I wanted to
it.
mention, I think I switched my mom to Android. She hasn't actually started using the Android phone yet, but she ordered a SIM card for an Android phone. Because she got tired of not being able to take her pictures and copy them onto her Linux desktop. And so I'm like, look, you can get a new Mac, or you can just switch to Android, and then it'll work on any computer. And so she's switching to Android.
Welcome to the end of.
Welcome to the end of the Nerd on the Street podcast, Brett. How was your week this week? Did you do a lot of preparation for the stream?
Preparation?
Yeah.
I mean,
Or did you do anything else fun this week? This preparation's so fun.
It's not.
No?
Long pause. No.
Long pause. All right. Yeah, we were actually getting ready to wrap up here because we're going into our Half-Life time. There was something else. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention real quick that since we're talking about how fed up we are with the new MacBook Pros, I'm using a System 76 laptop right now, and I do know that these don't have a whole lot of media coverage because System 76 is a tiny company. So if anyone was wondering, then yeah, I'm using a System 76 laptop, and they're actually a legit company. They won't just steal your money. So
Which I saw
'Cause
some things
that's-
online about that, actually.
Yeah, like System 76's site broke the day that Apple announced the new MacBook Pros because too many people were going to their website, so then they had to upgrade their servers.
That's funny.
But yeah, you can tell people aren't happy. So, yeah.
But I'm wondering how long it's going to take before they try
They're
to...
just I don't think they're gonna go back. They're just gonna say we don't care about Pros anymore.
Well, it's we were just talking about this yesterday. They stopped selling all their enterprise stuff. OS X server's a joke.
Yeah, Mac OS server.
Whatever.
It's not OS 10 anymore. We got rid of the number. All right, well, that was your Nerd on the Street podcast. We got some more heated discussion at the end there. The beginning was a little slow, but yeah. So for our iTunes viewers, we will see you guys in the next episode, and we are going to get back to our Extra Life 2016 live stream. If you're listening on iTunes, feel free to check out extralife.nots.co. Check out how much money we got donated whenever you listen to this, and feel free to donate even after the stream's over if you're listening to this on iTunes. So, I'm Jacob Kaufman,
Michael Chanel.
Adam Hura.
Brett Schlereth.
and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.